live,
Hey.
Janet.
Hi, Vivica.
Hi.
Welcome, everybody. We are so happy that everyone's here today. And here we are, the spiritual reality show, and we try to keep it kind of raw and real, as we've said before. But we want to talk about how to keep the vibration high because it's so easy to go the other way.
Oh,
And we're going to start out with a grounding prayer, and I'm going to just start. So I'll set the space today. So I
perfect.
just want you to close your eyes, try to make sure your feet are on the ground. And I want you to visualize crystalline roots of light going down your legs and out your feet and going down deep through the earth, through the layers of the earth, towards a giant golden crystal that I see in the center of the earth as the heart of Mother Gaia. So when you get to that crystal, wrap those roots around her, send them back up. She's going to send that energy of hers right up to the roots of light that we sent down, and she's going to send up her unconditional love. This golden light, the shimmering light, is going to come flowing up those roots through the layers of the earth, back up through the bottom of your feet, coming up into your legs, into your chest, into your arms, up into your neck, and then in through your head. And then see that beam of light go out through the crown of your head, go right out the roof of the house you're in, send it right out into the sky, right out into the universe. Send it way up, up. You're going to just keep going way out, keep sending it out. Now you're going to see these beautiful stars twinkling at you. We are in the inky purple universe. The one that's shining brightest, send that beam of light to it and connect with it and become one with it. And now that star is your soul family, your soul monad. And these are the beings of light who are here to help us on this journey. So know that they're all kinds of beings. They can be relatives, friends, someone you pass by on the earth, someone you've never met, galactic beings and ascended masters, any of those beings are there for you and your team. So now we're going to send that beam to the central sun. And the central sun is that amazing portal that will take us to the other planets and other parts of the universe. But now this central sun is going to send down what I call the cosmic flush. This cosmic flush comes back down to the earth. It's a shimmering silvery light coming back down towards where you live, coming in through the roof of your house, and then coming into your crown. Very gently and lovingly, it's going to come in. It's going to pick up any low or dense energy, anything you feel worried about, let it flow into these waters. So this shimmering silvery crystalline light just flows around you like an infinity sign, like the figure 8, picks up anything you want to let go of right now and send it down those legs again and out your feet and down through those layers of the earth towards the giant crystal. And surrounding it is that giant, it's a fiery ring of light. Send it in and let it be burned up into light. And now just put your hands on your heart, and we're going to connect with that energy of your heart. That heart space is our light, our source light, pilot light. And this energy is going to let you know that we're always loved unconditionally. It's going to flow forward to the front of your chest. It's going to fill you up. It's like this amazing, blooming, golden flower of light. It's just going to send out this radiant light into your cells, filling them up, and then flowing out around you and creating this beautiful cocoon of light around you. And that's creating the sacred space for all of us while we're in this moment of speaking to each other. And I always ask for an intention. So, Vivica, what's your intention for this session today?
that we all find peace.
That's beautiful. Yes, peace is so important right now. Peace and harmony. And my intention is also for that, and also to bring the highest information that we're meant to bring today to you all, and with love. So there we go. Open your eyes very gently. Know that your beings of light are around you. They're going to stay connected while we're in this session. And just open your eyes, and here we are.
Thank you,
So,
Janet. That was lovely. Thank you.
oh, good. It's
I'm
nice to
just
share
going to
that.
take one moment to see if there's anybody watching so that we know.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we have people watching. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
for being here. It's super exciting to see that people are tuning in. I appreciate that. So I want to start today, Janet, just by
sure.
sharing
Go ahead.
something
Yeah.
amazing because I'm super excited about. I have my podcast, as you know, the Spiritual Quest podcast. And yesterday I had a new podcast guest. And she's this amazing numerologist from Los Angeles.
Mhm.
Her name is Novalee Wilder. And I've never, to be honest, I really don't know that much about numerology. I've read a little bit, and I've kind of
Mm-hmm.
been interested, and I've heard about people being deep into numerology, but it's really not been something I've been fascinated about. But suddenly I was guided. I just, this, my spirit guide Zarius is always with me. Oh, I want to show you now, because a detour, I'm sorry, but I actually made this just to, there he is.
Oh, hello. Is that our wizard? We have
Yes, I call him my little
Merlin with
wizard.
us. He
So
looks
he's
like
with me.
Merlin.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just had to do that for fun. Because he's
Fantastic. I
always
love
on
that.
my left side, so he's always with me. So
Ah,
now I've shared him with all of you. But back
yeah.
to the my story here. And she actually, I gave her my birth date, and in this meditation you did, you talked about the infinity, the
Yep.
number 8, and I have that base number 8 and 4. I didn't know what that was, but when she started to read into that, I was like, I was blown away. I was amazed. I mean, she did a reading of me based on my birth date in a way
Sure.
that I wouldn't understand. Because I always take my information, it's always channeled, it's an open channel. So, and she even said that the vertical, that I live my life vertically and not linear time.
Mhm.
And it was just the way she understood the light and darkness that I feel so strongly in my life, and why it's so important for me, why I use so much time to explain what, the story.
Sure.
She said, that's the 8. That is who you are. You need to go
Ah,
deep. You go to really in the depths of things. And I was like, yes, you're right. I do that all the time. And some people find it really draining because I really need to go deep. So, do you know anything about numerology, Janet? Any
I
experience?
know a little. I mean, the 11 11s. I mean, my birthday's in 18, so I love that you're saying eights because I'm an eight also in there. And the fact that you like to go deep, I love to go deep. I have never had an actual numerology reading, but I've had a lot of others, and human design and divine navigation and my own divine design mapping is included with your birth date, and it's so powerful. I mean, I use the birth name, but you also, it helps when you see your birth date. I also check into that when I do my readings.
Oh,
But
I'll have to
yeah,
make sure you do that for me so we can
yes,
share it. I mean, because then I
yes,
could,
yes,
that would be fun to see the numerology and see what you come up with. That,
yes,
just
that
to
would
see
be
the synergies
powerful.
of that.
Sure, sure, that'd be
Yeah,
great to do.
yeah,
Because I've done that before. I've done lives, like live readings for people. People like it, so but we'll have to make it shorter here because we're a
yeah,
shorter venue.
yeah.
But yeah, I'd do the highlights. It'd be so fun because it would really be great. So what did she say? The 8 and 4, did she add them up and make it a master number? Because isn't 12 a master number, or
Uh,
does it come to a
well,
three?
it
Then you
depends
add it.
on what kind of numerology art
Hmm.
you use.
Yeah.
I think she said it went only to 10, and then
Okay.
it started over again.
Okay.
So I don't know the different. I don't know that much about it, but the thing is,
Right. Right.
it was such spot on that I recommend if you're interested. And in this way, it's not that airy fairy. It's just numbers, right? And it's your
So
birthday. And
what was your biggest highlight that she gave you that you felt was really powerful? What was the biggest thing?
I think it was all the ahas I got when she read
Mhm.
me, that I've done this intuitively throughout my
Yeah.
life without knowing
Mhm.
that this was in my numbers. And so, like the
Okay.
name, we spoke a lot about name changes. She's changed her
Mm.
name. A lot of people change their name to actually break free from the limitations. And
Well, I've
she's
done the same, but I don't use it on this show. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so I saw that when she kind of spoke about different, aspects of, I didn't take my husband's last name. I
So
was
you
very
kept your
clear on
maiden.
that when I got married, that I had a purpose for keeping my name. And
Mhm.
and I
Mhm.
shared that with her, but when she explained why that was important, I was like, that's exactly how I felt. That's why I did not want to give away my power. I wouldn't want to adopt anything that I didn't find was in my vibration. That would
Interesting.
lower my vibration
Interesting.
at
Yes.
accepting his
Yes.
last name. And he's just,
Ah,
everything just went, whoa, this is.
that is interesting. I love that.
So being
I
in
love
tune
that.
and following your soul and following your heart, and
Mhm.
using your intuition, it's so key, because when you get these ahas, you go, okay, so it's all one. It's all, it's the same thing. It's just way we look at it. It's different arts. But if you really tune in and you allow yourself that guidance, these gifts come to you. So I found it to be very enlightening in a different
Oh
way.
yeah,
So it kind of
yeah.
lifted me into a new space, if you wish.
Oh sure,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
It
and
was
that's
a
kind of
real
what my
gift.
my divine design mapping. I'm thinking about when I do the name, it gives you all the like your spiritual challenges, your physical challenges, your goals, your gifts, and then your soul destiny. So
Mhm.
my maiden name, my soul destiny was a 12-3, and the 12-3 is a person who likes to go deep and gets into too many things sometimes, like is a little too busy with too many things. That's a 12-3. I'd be interested to know if you're a 12-3. And my husband's the same. It's so funny how we're the
Really?
same soul destiny. Yes.
Wow.
And
So
I
how
think,
does that work out, Janet? Is that a good thing
well,
or
I
can
do.
that be challenging?
Well, I have a clash. I do, and that's what I had to. That's why when I what the person I learned from, Ariel Indigo, she brought this through from other teachings that she built on, and she created this whole course, which really, magnified the whole process of your birth name and the numbers that it brings forth. And it's all, Hebrew light letters. It's all Hebrew light letters. So, so with that I had to, that's why when I went to change my name, it did give me more of an upgrade. It did release the clash. So my first name was Isla Serona that I got, and it was good, and I got that like as a download. I got the Isla, but I spelt it differently than the way I actually saw it in my mind. Everyone said, oh no, these are better, it works better this way. So I went to the AILA instead of AYLA. And then when I we did a second time, I did it with Ariella, and she said, well, just allow it to unfold whether you should have a second name or not. So guess what? The name Yarra,
Mhm.
Yarra, Atlantica came through. And I got the Yarra because I kept hearing the name and it just felt so connected to me. And I still love it. I like Dyla, but I really feel the Yarra is
Let
me.
me let me feel
And
it.
then
Let me
the
sense it. Say it one more time.
Yarra Atlantica.
Ooh, goosebumps.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it's the Yara. The Yara,
Yeah.
it's like it opens something huge in you, like your power. It
Well,
reflects.
there's a river in Australia called the Yarra River,
Oh,
and,
really?
I forgot because I lived in Australia at one time, so a river is very flowing, and
Mm,
it really, brings a lot with it, and it
yeah.
creates current, and it creates, all kinds of things, so I guess that's part of why the Yarra felt so good, and then Atlantica came to me. I woke up one morning, and I got the name was right in my head, Atlantica,
Mm.
and I'm like, "That's a crazy name, I've never heard of that," you know? And so when I looked it up, I mean, it's connected to Atlantis. I have a lot of Atlantis
Oh,
roots, a
me
lot.
too. Me too.
Do you? Well,
I
that's
think
not so
that's where we
surprising.
got each other
We
from. You
probably
know,
do know each other.
I
And I
know
love that. And
that's
I have a lot of Egyptian roots too. And of course, Egypt and Atlantis were, side by side in the end. I mean, everyone from Atlantis went to Egypt,
yes. I
when they
actually had a
fled,
past life
when it
in
sunk.
Egypt. Yeah.
Pardon me?
I had a past life in Egypt as a
Oh
priestess.
yeah,
Yes.
yes,
So,
I know my past life very well in
yeah.
Egypt. Well, pretty well. I know a lot of
Mm,
it, not everything, but I know quite a bit.
mm.
And when I was in healing school, I had a huge awakening. There was like one guy in my class out of 17 women, and he was from my past life. And oh my goodness, did that cause some things in my life? It was very interesting. And I really had to work through stuff. And I literally lived through a food poisoning. Not a food, a poisoning that I lived through in that life. I relived it here in this life. I literally felt poisoning and I had to go to the hospital. And they said it was acid reflux.
Mm.
But my teacher said, Janet, you relived that. And I said, that makes sense to me because I was in sessions with her and I never would tell her what was going on. And she would see it and she'd go, Janet, you were poisoned and that's what you were reliving. And I'm like, well, that makes sense because it hurt like heck. It was like my whole chest I had swallowed. It was horrible. I mean, it's crazy when you relive things like that. I mean, it's just insane. But, it allowed me to clear it. It also allowed me to clear it. And I think I owed him because I kind of threw him to the wind. I kind of threw him into the fire
Mm.
when I was in that life, because it was either me or him were going to live, and I chose me over him. And then, of course, I died as well. I mean, it wasn't going to get me anywhere. So
Mm.
instead of being loyal, I wasn't. So, you learn. We all learn in our life. And in this life, I stayed loyal. And I'm like, no way. This is not happening.
Okay, so talking about names, I just want to share with you, Janet,
Yeah.
that I actually got my soul name
Hmm.
when I did my LBL training at the Michael Newton Institute in
Okay.
2012, and I have that recording still on my computer somewhere. But
Oh, how beautiful.
when I went through that, I can hear myself every time I listen to that. When I get my soul name, I'm crying like a baby. I'm serious. I'm
Oh,
sobbing. It was such a
sure.
profound experience, and it shifted my whole being. So when I came out of that soul journey, it was just I felt reborn. I felt purified. I just felt
Mm.
brand
Hmm.
new, like I had been
Yes.
given my life once again. It's like actually, I felt like I shifted, like parallel lives. If you have your path when you choose your life, we do
Sure.
this in the LBL sessions. We look at our lives, and you have these scenarios that you can choose for your life. I actually felt like I was on a detour, and when I came back after connecting with my soul, getting my soul name, and I shifted. I was back on track, like
Yes.
I was where I was
Yes.
supposed to be, and everything in that moment shifted outside. My outside world shifted with me, so it was really a transformative experience. And I never
Yes.
looked back after that. It's before my degree, and then after. I mean, it's before and after.
Which is so wonderful. And when I got my name, she just called it an upgrade, the first one, the Isla, but the second name, she understood it as a soul name. So
Mm,
that this is a soul name, but I took them both as getting aspects of my soul back. Like
yeah.
we're learning in this life that we're collecting aspects of ourselves to, to make our wholeness, to be, create that wholeness of our soul, which is all the pieces of the creator, I would think, of source. We're bringing it all together. And that's what I got as a download. She never said it that way to me, but I got it myself, and I feel like that's true. But the Yara totally, like I said, that it shifted me in a different way. Like things opened up in a different way when I got to Yara. Isla didn't quite open me, but Yara opened it even more, and I was like, wow. And people were noticing, different, people I work with closely were noticing things, and that was powerful for me. And so
I
I
get
understand
that.
what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, because I actually something similar happened to me. So I've channeled Zarius and Order of Seven
Yep.
for a long time, and I think it was year five. I was way into the channeling process, and I've been working on shifting and opening up, and I was receiving more guidance from other entities and high frequency beings. And chief of the Holy Land stepped forward, and he called me his daughter. So he would refer to me as sacred white feather. And so I asked
Oh,
him,
nice.
what is sacred white feather? And he
Hmm.
said, that is your energy name that I'm giving you to carry
Beautiful.
the vibration of my being so that you
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
be, and kind of, he included me as a way of kind of like a ceremony, giving me a ceremony name so that I could be that energy, or bring his energy forward through sacred white feathers, so that I could really be a pure channel, if you wish. And
Sure.
so
Sure.
I carry that. So when I channel her, I can feel my essence, but it's so, I can't describe it because I can't, I have to be in a trance to actually allow that pureness,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
the mind is so interfering at all times. You're having to look for words, especially when I channel, when I speak English. But when I channel English, a lot of people have said,
Right.
when you channel, it's, you don't have to look for words, you're not even thinking, it's just flowing. So it really does make a difference. But that's why, I refer to sacred white feather as part of me, even though it's
Yes.
gifted me that name. but I really use it for anything else than when I connect and I do ceremonies, or if I channel, or if I do anything that matter. So what about you? Do you use your name in like in special occasions, or do you use it all the time, or do you refer to yourself? How do you use
Well, I use it. Well, I use it on all my information. Like if someone looks me up, like even on my Zoom, it says Yarra Atlantica,
it? Mm,
and people when I change my name again, people were like, "Well, this is confusing. Why are you doing that?" And it was a little confusing to me too because I'm like, "Well, why is this happening? Why am I getting this crazy?" Extra name. I mean, I like the idea, but it's like I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do with it. It's like, why am I getting all these things? Oh, something just changed. Sorry. And I I just got the information. Well, that one was a start for you, and this is the next one, which
mm,
I'm one of the only ones I know of that's had that happen. But there must have. I just go with the flow. There was a reason. So the
yeah,
Yara, I haven't used it in my everyday life. I consider it more like a sacred name.
yeah,
And I do use it in certain things that I've been doing. It's only been around me about a year and a half tops. So it's not very long, maybe even a year now. So it's rather new. But I do love it. And so I'm still working with how it's meant to come through. I just feel when I say the name, I get like a lightness. I
yeah.
feel the energy just lifting and the vibration is higher.
Well, I
And
actually
so,
feel it when we're here, Janet, that it's sacred space that we're in here,
right.
even though we're
Yeah.
live, and I know the people watching. I hope you feel the sacredness of our space, and that we
Hmm.
are being honest and truthful about who we are. But I also feel like you said, it's sacred. The name, I got sacred white feather. It's I don't use it otherwise, unless I'm in that heart space, or unless I'm doing or channeling that energy of unconditional love. And that's the
Hmm.
only
Hmm.
purpose
Hmm.
of me using that name. It was gifted and should only be
Right.
used in that space.
That's
So I do not
interesting.
use
Yeah.
that out there. It's something I can
Yeah, I
share
haven't
here,
I
but I
didn't,
don't.
yeah, that was where I was a little bit lost on which way to do it, but I started using it out there, and then other people, like friends, like healer friends and energy people are saying, "Well, why don't you just use Janet? Because that's who you are." And I've always liked Janet. It's
Mhm.
fine. I have no problem with the name Janet. And I said, "Well, you're right." So calling myself Janet here is very natural to me. So the Yara is still a little uncomfortable to put it out there, sort of. I mean, people call me and I like it. I
Mhm.
like when they say it. So they're like, "Well, should I call you Yara or Jen?" I says, "Whatever you feel called, because
Mhm.
I can't make that decision for you. You're going to be guided the way you want to be guided to call me." So it's unfolding. Let's just put
I
it that
love
way. It's
it. So
still
maybe
unfolding.
we should think about that when we're here. That
Yeah.
we should be more, maybe allow ourselves in this sacred space. Um,
Yeah.
we're here to
Yeah.
be, to do the reality of being a soul on a spiritual human journey. And so I think it's
Yeah.
important that we embrace who we truly are, and then
Right. We can't
when,
have all the answers. We
yeah,
can't have all the answers
yeah,
to everything that's happening, but yet, I can see changes that have happened over the years. And like for you, like you've seen your growth and you've seen
yeah,
the changes, and then you know where you want to use things and you know how you want to use your name, like the white feather, the sacred
yeah.
white feather. But for me, I like the Yara. I mean, I came out with it right away to, just to try to, you know, envelop the energy of it.
My
And now,
experience is that each individual have to accept that gift.
yeah,
And when
yeah.
you accept Yara and become comfortable with that, that will
Mhm.
shift again. You said like you will,
Yes.
that's how I feel. So when I accepted my soul name, a huge shift. I got Sacred White Feather. It took me a while to understand and to figure out how I was going to facilitate or use that name
Okay.
but I I spoke with Chief of the Holy Land, and he guided me so just by tuning in and listening, you will be guided by your spirit, your soul,
Right.
so
Right.
but
That's
I think
good
the acceptance
information.
of it is what we're talking
Mhm.
about. Be
Yeah. Yeah.
realistic of
Be
your
open
journey.
to it.
If you've accepted yourself as a spiritual human being, and this is coming to you, your name is being gifted, accept it.
Yes.
and love it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's such a special gift when it does, because I never expected a name ever. I wasn't even looking for it. I mean, it just sort of fell in my lap both times.
I love
I,
that.
I mean, Ariella gifted me the first session, and then the second one was part of something I was doing. I'm like, wow, this is so fantastic. I mean, I didn't even know what was going to happen.
Mm,
So it was a gift. It was a gift.
mm.
So thank you. I love
So
that you said that.
I must admit, I have my channeling group. I've had it, had almost the same people for now. How many years? Oh, 8 years, and everyone that's been part of that group has been gifted an energy name. Not
Oh,
always a
nice.
soul name, but
Nice.
an energy name to
That's very
use
nice.
that represent their soul resources, their power,
Hmm.
their gift,
Hmm.
what they're bringing to
Okay.
earth. So it's just beautiful. And some has, when they elevated or lifted their vibration, has received a second name. So I'm used to, hearing
Oh,
people
there you
be
go.
gifted.
There you go.
Yes.
So you do get second names in your
Yeah.
group. That's interesting to
Yeah.
know that. I love hearing that because that makes sense to me now
Mhm.
because now I've got second names. So you get them in your group. I love that.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Channeling is something I was always told I could do, and I started trying. Channeling was coming through me a little bit when I was doing a group called the Magdalene Gathering, but
Mhm.
I was a little uncomfortable, and I wasn't allowing.
No, you're
So
right.
I kind of it was like push pull push pull. It's a very, but I love the experience. After I had it, I was like, I want that again.
Oh, yeah. I,
But I haven't done it again, really. I mean, not I mean, I actually get information in a different way. I don't feel like it's a channeling like that felt like I could feel like an embodiment coming in.
mm,
And I had to check it out. Like, what is this? Is this something I want? Is this not? And the person I was with was like, well, who are you? Because I was saying it out loud in this group. And she's like, well, who are you? Because we don't let anyone just in here and blah, blah, blah. And so I never really got a full idea who this being was that was coming through.
mm.
But I do when I do my own, like, I call it vision questing.
Yes.
I will get information just if I meditate and I sit, then I ask for a download of information and then I just start writing. It's like automatic writing.
Mm.
So I'll get that information after I meditate. I'll just allow whatever comes through without editing.
Mm.
Don't edit, just sit there
No,
and write.
no, you
And
can't do
because
that.
the messages that come through are so amazing.
Mm.
And I give those to the people I do my divine design mapping for. And I'll do it for myself when I need information. And this has only occurred in the last 2 or 3 years that this has come through. So that was newer for me. And I loved it because it's a form of channeling in a way,
Mm.
but it's not an actual being. Maybe it's my higher self coming through. Just I think that's what I feel it is. My
Yeah.
higher self coming through, giving me this information that I'm ready. I'm ready to share or ready to hear for myself.
Mm.
So there's so
So
many ways
one
we can do this.
question for
Yeah.
you, Janet. So when you receive downloads, personally downloads,
Yeah.
when we do channeling sessions, we've received several downloads in
Hmm.
shifts that's been going on when the energy in the universe has
Hmm.
shifted and coming down.
Yeah.
I usually look at it as it filters down through the dimensions and it
Yeah.
reaches us, and we need to open up. So we actually open up prior to it reaching the physical level, and we get group downloads, and how it's
Oh,
so
wow.
interesting to see the different people in the group
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
how
Hmm.
they download and how it affects them.
Yes. Yes.
It's just amazing what can
Yes.
really, come out of a download. I don't know, have you
That's
experienced that
beautiful.
in a group
Yes, I
before?
did. We did do that. We did have those we would go into drumming. We do drumming.
Yes.
And I always did bells though. I was never into the drumming as much as I love bells and I love the sound of bells. And the woman that had led the group, she loved the bells. And she goes, you need to bring those bells. Those bells are changing the energy of this so much. It's making it higher. So I would bring my tiny bells and bigger bells, and I bought them all around the world. One is, a couple of them are, blessed by a shaman that came up from Peru. So they're really sacred bells. And, everyone would get a download at those meetings and they would all share, like we all saw things differently.
Wow.
So it was powerful. It was so powerful. And we had like we always felt we had a portal to Arcturus. That was one of our things we thought we had, was a portal to Arcturus. And the woman that owned the property was guided to say this is what it was. And she also had a
Flashback.
labyrinth.
Sorry, Janet. I'm getting
Yep.
flashbacks. I just need to from Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, ceremonies where we use downloads for the crystals and for attuning the environmental balance of what was going on. I can see that, my spirit guide Zarius. I asked if I've had a life with him. I know he's my teacher on the other side,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
he said the only time I've been with you is on Atlantis, where I was your teacher, and we worked with crystals and downloads. And I think you're speaking now with the downloads. This is coming. I think we've had this download.
Wow.
Yes, we have. We've had a
Because I know I worked in the crystal centers because that's what I was
hello.
told.
Here we
Yes,
go.
I
What
know, I
did I
love it.
say?
I love
There
it.
is. Hey, I love this. This is the reality,
I
spiritual
know, I
reality
love that
show.
there's no coincidences of why we're together doing this.
I
And it
love
is
this.
powerful for all of us to kind of get that information. I mean, I love knowing it. I wasn't looking for it, but the woman that I was connecting with, she would give the most gorgeous readings. And she said, Janet, you were in Atlantis and you were one of these beings. Oh my, I had so many different events with her. And then she would send you the whole information written in gold pen on
Oh,
the
I
most
love that.
beautiful sheets
Oh, that's
of
beautiful.
info. It was so powerful. And I did about 4 or 5 levels with her.
Mm,
And then I also got many extra things. Like she said, I was connected to Saint Germain and that I was his daughter. And at the time, I wasn't doing enough, he said. And this was like in early 2000s.
mm.
And he said, I needed to do more because I was just coming out with my spiritual work and just, coming out. I mean, doing this was never on my agenda in my mind, but I love this even more.
Yeah.
And, the fact that, and I know we're going over time, we're over
Yeah.
a little bit. We're going to end it in a couple minutes, everybody. But it was, she said, well, you're a daughter of Saint Germain. I'm like, really? I mean,
Mm,
that freaked me out because I'll never forget it. And I'm like, oh, wow. And she goes, but he's not totally happy with you yet. And I'm like,
yeah.
wait a minute. And I'm like, okay. So I don't know what he thinks of me now, but I feel like, I mean, maybe it's better now. I've done a whole lot more since that time. So
Oh,
I should ask him. I should go into a meditation and ask him because this is the first time I've thought of that in a long time.
yeah.
So interesting. But
I'm good.
we're so happy you're all here. Any
Yes.
final words, Vivica?
I just want to make sure that we close the sacred space. We've been talking
Oh, yes, we're
about,
gonna do that,
yes.
definitely.
So
Yeah, and I
just do
keep
that for us.
changing my headspace because I'm laughing because I have a delay and I'm looking at myself and my camera's like over there and I'm trying to like look at you the right way because you're looking very direct and mine is like it's funny.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Please.
yes, so we thank you all for being here so much. Hope this gives you some enlightenment to, don't be afraid to go forward to find your soul name, your spiritual name, or energy name, whatever it is that comes through for you. It's kind of part of your soul path if it comes through. I mean, that's what I'm getting from all of us as we've shared. It's part of our soul path. It does open doors for us in ways that they're subtle though. It's not like, we're not millionaires or anything here, but it's subtle and it's beautiful and it opens our spiritual self and it opens our hearts in even bigger, newer ways and our consciousness shifts. So it's so powerful. I'm so
It
grateful
brings
for it. I know
peace.
you are.
Like the intention
Pardon me?
we set for today, it brings peace.
It does bring peace and it harmonizes us. It brings us into that beautiful harmony and balance.
Mm.
So we're going to thank all the guides and beings of light who are here with us today and everyone else that were here participating live. We are so grateful to have you bring us through this beautiful message. I hope that it's helping all the people that have been listening and that will listen. So we're going to cut the cord, send them back with love. And we are, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. And you are now on your own. And we are so grateful that you are here again. And we'll see you next week
Yep.
on next Thursday. So we'll be back again every Thursday. So far, we do have a few vacations coming up in June. So we may, we're going to see how that works out. But we are here right now for the next few weeks. And we're so excited to be here. And please, we love your feedback, your comments.
Yes.
Anything in the chat, you can email us. Is there anything in emails below for us?
No, but I'll put it in the description.
Okay.
Okay.
So I know I'm ownyourdivinelight.com. It's a long one. Own, OWN, your, YOUR, divine, DIVINE, light, LIGHT.com. You our gmail.com, I should say. Gmail, that's my email. And that's my website.
Yeah.
So if you want to give yours to Vivica, and then people
I'll
can
put
know
it
if
in the
they.
description. No worries.
Okay,
I'll
no
do that.
problem.
Thank you.
Thank you all again.
Thank
It was such a
you.
pleasure, Vivica. This was so fun. Love our Atlantic connection.
Me too. Bye.